Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to explain a couple things and kind of, let's just leave it at explain a couple things, okay? So in today's video, like I said, I'm going to be explaining kind of what's going on with my business and also just kind of reintroduce myself as myself and not just my business. So let's just start there, shall we? So my name is Angel. I currently live in the state of New Jersey. And I currently right now am the owner of a small business that is called Blacckroses Resin. And it's basically, I make various items out of resin. That's literally what I do. You can see some objects here. We have some trinket trays. I have some ashtrays here. These are a pair of coasters, more ashtrays, more ashtrays. I made a lot of ashtrays. Don't ask why, because I don't know why, but I did. Yeah. I have been doing it for, I've had my business for about a year and 7 months. I have been doing resin for roughly ballpark about 2 years. So I did experiment for a couple months and, you know, all of this preparation to then open my Etsy shop. So opening my Etsy shop was, I think, one of, there's a siren. I went into starting my small business, really like gun-ho, really like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I am going to become like really popular. Not necessarily like, oh, be popular on social media, anything like that, but have kind of like a steady kind of, you know, base that buys from my shop that I can interact with, things of that nature. And when things like that didn't happen, when I would go, especially in the beginning, and I was going months without an order, I took it a lot harder than I probably should have. One reason that I did take it so hard is that I do suffer from depression and anxiety. So I went into it thinking that, like I said, like I would, you know, be doing some work and then somebody would see it, or like an influencer would see it and really love it, and, you know, and then it would just kind of take off from there. Which, don't get me wrong, it does happen to people, which if it's happened to you, amazing. Like, that's literally freaking amazing. But I think that I was expecting the same results as those people, when the reality of it is that even though small business owners have a lot in common, there are some things that's just not going to happen for every small business owner. You know, every small business owner doesn't get recognized by someone with a larger platform and then that's how their business takes off. Not everybody gets, you know, or ends up making a video on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or anything like that, and then they just going massively viral, and next thing you know, they're swimming in orders. That's not the realistic part of it, but that's also something I didn't understand at that time. Like I said, I was busy comparing myself to others in their shops. And it just kind of, I think that me having my small business really exacerbated a lot of my insecurities that I had, like, as a person. And it just translated into my business. And while everything I've said so far does sound slightly negative, the reason why I say that it was one of the best things that I could have ever done is because it did put my insecurities and my depression and my anxiety in the forefront of my brain. It forced me to look at situations, and instead of trying to bury all of these feelings and all of these thoughts that I was having, it made it so I couldn't. And I know that for some people that's not good, and I completely understand and respect that. For me, it was something, I guess it was like that little kick that was needed for me to do what I needed to do, so far as seeing a therapist and things of that nature. So like I said, I've been doing my business now for about 1 year and 7 months. So I started in January of 2020. I remember sitting, I had a very, very tiny, it's not even a desk, it's a, what is it called? I'm pretty sure it has a name, but I mean, you could put it like in a hallway or something. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, I was doing all of my resin on this little bitty table that if I did like 2 projects, there wasn't enough space on the table for me to do any other projects. So I was really limited as to what I could do. So I worked like that for months. And then the pandemic happened. And when that started, it was just kind of like, well, I'm not doing anything with my business because, or I'm not going to ship orders or anything like that because everything that's going on. But then also, like, at that point I hadn't even had any sales. Unrealistic expectations and unrealistic perspective of where I really was with my business. Now the other side to this story is that when I first started doing resin, I was working multiple part-time jobs. I was also in school finishing my bachelor's degree. And I started school in 2018. I had initially lost my job in 2017, started school in 2018, and then from that point I worked multiple jobs, up to four part-time jobs at one time, while in school full-time, and I was taking complete online classes. I don't know how I did it, but I did, and by the time I was finished, I was graduating with a 3.58 GPA, which was, I don't even know the words to explain it. Just the fact that I even did that. I've never been really good in school. I've always felt that I was smart and I know things, but when it just came down to like, like I said, some of the struggles that I had, I just had never gotten it addressed, so I had never really done well in school. And here I was going for my bachelor's while working multiple part-time jobs. Multiple. Like 4. Up to 4 at one time. And I was able to get a 3.5 GPA. So, like I said, started school in 2018. By the time 2019 came, or late October of 2019 to be exact, I had, at one of my jobs that I had gotten a promotion, and I had now a full-time position making basically the money I needed. And I was like, okay, this is so perfect. I could pay more attention to my business and all of this. Yeah, and then the pandemic happened. And then just really fighting through those struggles. And, for a lot of people, the pandemic was very, very, very hard, especially with the isolation part. To be completely honest, I did struggle as well. My job was now working from home. I was no longer getting up and going to work every day, which in the beginning it was like, oh, cool, I get a break from having to get up and get dressed and go here and go there. But pretty quickly it spiraled, and of course depression spiraled. So the pandemic was pretty hard. But I would have to say, like, I kept going through it. I'm like, I just gotta keep going. But I hit a brick wall earlier this year where it was like, well, I have a couple other things that I'm really interested in doing. But if you're unfamiliar with resin, resin is usually, there's different types of resin, but the resin that I was using is a 2-part epoxy that has to be mixed, and it has to be mixed just right. And when you do things like resin, you have to wear the proper face mask because you cannot inhale all of those fumes. They're very damaging to the body. You have to wear gloves, long sleeves. You have to make sure that, you don't get resin on everything, because I have gotten resin on hardwood floors. If anybody has a way of getting resin off hardwood floors, let me know. But yeah, so it was just like, it's so many steps. It's this whole process. And don't get me wrong. I love the process. It's not something that I'm not ever going to do again. It's just something that, like, right now, I just really want to try other things. And being locked into resin, it doesn't allow me to do those things. Yeah, and like I said, I was working on a very small table, and I had spent money and time redoing, because I have a very small apartment, and actually the room that I'm in right now I actually share with my roommate. We don't sleep inside of this space, but this is where all of our things are, you know what I mean? So this is where I was doing my resin. So I took time and money. I bought a Cricut machine. You can't see it, it's off to the side, but I bought a Cricut machine. That was $455 for the Cricut machine. The stand that is on was like $75. The molds, and it just, I literally truly have invested so much of myself into my resin, to the point where, like I stated earlier, all of my insecurities and things that I've struggled with are showing in my resin work. And I made up my mind in earlier this year that, I'm like, I have to, get in therapy and do the things that I need to do to feel better about myself. Because how can I make this wonderful art for people to enjoy and for people to love, but I'm not able to put in that love and that passion into my art anymore? So yeah, no, I like I said, I was in this like rabbit hole of comparing myself to others constantly. And when I say constantly, I mean constantly looking at analytics. It was just so bad. And I was like obsessing over these numbers, and it's like I said, it's me having my small business really highlighted my insecurities, and it really just, it made me spiral, but also made me look at myself, if that makes any sense. So I am so grateful that I did it, and having my own business and having business cards, I never thought that would be something I would be able to do. Growing up, I don't think I've ever shared that on my YouTube channel, but I am from Chicago initially. I was born and raised there, and we don't come from money. We didn't come from, really, really like dirt poor, but childhood was a little rough at times. We definitely hit some rough patches. And having your own business just wasn't something that was highly encouraged or seen a lot, and it was something that I didn't know that I could do. But it's like the fact that I did it, I'm really proud of myself for doing it. And I'll be honest, it's weird saying that on camera, especially when I can see myself when I say it. Sounds a little bit weird, but at the same, but it's true. It's true. I am proud that I was able to do it, and that I was able to put together like, oh, plans to do X, Y, Z, and this, that, and the other, and plan everything out. And also having my small business also taught me money management, because now resin is a very expensive, it can be a very expensive hobby. The resin that I specifically was buying, and I was buying it for 4 gallons at a time, I was spending $350, you know, every time I bought this resin, not to mention buying molds from Amazon and Etsy, and the colorants and things like that. I've spent a lot of money into it, but again, money management, because I had to still be able to obviously pay my bills, but also still support this small business that I have. That's why I say that having my small business was one of the best things I could have done, to which, like I said, highlighted those insecurities, which brought up the fact that I needed help. Not with resin specifically, but like I needed help. And in February of this year, I started seeing a therapist, and I've seen a couple other therapists in the past, but it just never went well. But this therapist, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm so grateful for him, because he actually listens. He actually talks to me like a human being, and doesn't talk to me like I'm some diseased creature or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's a very like real person. And he, you know, very much tailors, you know, what his treatment plan for me. He tailors it to me and my specific needs. And because of him, I have gotten so into my other like creative outlets, and I really want to share that with you guys. I will share that probably in another video, because I don't want this video to be super long. But like, I have been getting into doodles. Like, doodling was something that I used to do years and years ago, and I was just getting so discouraged when I would like see other people's doodles, and I'm like, oh, like their little cactus is cute, and mine's is like, you know. And that's part of why I'm in therapy, is, you know, the comparing and things of that nature. And so, but now I'm in this space of self-care and self-love, and like this big creative space, where I feel like I can do whatever I want, in a sense of like being creative. So, like I said, I've been a lot into doodling. I have bought so many, like, I have notebooks and stuff that I've already had, plus one that I bought. I have really been into like mandalas and Zentangles, and I bought like, how many did I buy? Like 60 or 70 gel pens. I bought glitter pens and metallic ones and neon ones, and like the classic jelly roll pens. And like, I have just really been in that space. And I'll be honest, like, as much as I love resin, I love being in this space of, I can sit down with my my markers and my, you know, my jelly roll pens and all my other gel pens, and I can sit there and just create something that I'm happy with. Like, and I don't want this to sound harsh, but I don't care if other people don't like it, because at the end of the day, it's not for everyone, which is completely understandable. But the art that I'm doodling and, you know, with the Zentangles and things like that, that's stuff for me. You know, when I look at that, I want to be happy with that color scheme or the way that it's blended out or whatever the case may be. and I've starting to become more comfortable in that space, and I think that that is so important. And it's like, it's one of those things where I wish I did learn that sooner, but the fact that I'm learning it now is still really good, because I have been through a lot in my life. I'm not gonna spill out my guts here, but I have been through quite a few things in my life, and no matter how low I felt, I'm not gonna cry in this video. I'm not gonna cry in this video. No. If I hadn't had those lows, I wouldn't be able to appreciate this creative space that I'm in now. And I'm super excited about it. One of the things that has been suggested to me a couple of times, but at this point in my life, I don't want to do it. I tried it once and it wasn't what I felt like I wanted for myself. I was given medication to manage my depression and my anxiety. Specifically Zoloft was what I was prescribed, and I don't know, I just really felt like I had lost something. You lose a piece of yourself, so to speak. And I didn't like it. And then when I didn't have those pills, or when I didn't take those pills, I was in like this spiral of being like almost in like a manic state, where I'm kind of all over the place. My emotions are all over the place, and like I said, I live with someone, so that was a little bit miserable even for that person. And it's just like, that's not what I want out of my life. So yeah, I'm really enjoying where I am in my creative space right now. So what does that mean for my small business? Right now, my small business is still open. My Etsy shop is still up. There are still items there that you can buy, and I will ship them out. That's not a problem at all. But as in, when will I like upload more items or anything like that? I'll be very honest, I'm not 100% sure. So for now, I will be changing the name of this YouTube channel. And the content, while it will include, when I do get back into resin, it will include, resin pieces and things of that nature. I want my YouTube to be kind of like my little bubble of creative space. I want to be able to share with you guys the art that I do, or sometimes just sit and have a conversation with you guys. This is not my first time on YouTube. I do have another YouTube channel that I have not posted on in a couple years. Bonus points to you if you can find it. But I used to do like makeup and like makeup tutorials and things of that nature, which I haven't done in such a long time. So don't be surprised if a makeup tutorial pops up here and there. But yeah, like I said, I'm not new to YouTube, so I pretty much got everything kind of figured out. But like I said, one thing, I will be changing the name of this channel just because right now resin is not my main focus. And instead of me pouring myself or feeling bad about not utilizing this YouTube channel or feeling bad about abandoning this YouTube channel, I'll just literally turn it into a YouTube channel about myself and my journey. And while I did say, of course, I'm not gonna spill out my guts on this channel and tell you every deep dark thought that I've had, but I will share my progress with certain things. And also I am seeing a nutritionist as well, so I'm kind of excited about that. So I can, you know, share some of that progress in case any of you guys are looking to get a nutritionist, you know, so you kind of see what my experience is, and maybe that'll be some encouragement for you to do, you know, for you to go out and get a nutritionist. But yeah, like I said, I just really want to kind of focus this channel on myself and my growth. And I do want to start vlogging too. But huge disclaimer right now. I will not be a daily vlogger because I'm not that type of person. So, like I said, I don't want this video to be extremely long, and I think this is a lot for me to edit. I don't want to spend forever editing, so I'm gonna end it here. Here I am. This video is probably all over the place, and I'm sorry, but it's just kind of how it flowed. I didn't want to have a script necessarily because I knew the gist of what I wanted to talk about, so here we are. If you're interested in something specific that I did mention in this video that you would like to see, or you have questions about, whatever the case may be, leave that all down in the comment section. I hope everyone has a really good day, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I'm not sure how long it is, but I know it's longer than probably about 10 minutes, so thank you if you have made it all the way to the end. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, and with that being said, just enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope nothing but the best for you. And I want also everyone to remember, regardless of who you are and where you are watching this, you are beautiful, you are loved, and you're perfect. Bye.